The Terror, Episode 3, The Ladder. So, this episode I would definitely say is where things are officially starting to kick off. We, of course, lose our main captain, so that leaves us with, I still don't remember his actual character name, so I'm still going to go with Moriarty from, Sherlock Holmes. But he is officially taken over by the end of this episode. We have Hickey, who is like kind of the, I guess, fourth, important character at this point. And I don't know what his deal is. It was interesting. At the end they have like the funeral procession going on, and everybody's there except for him and like one other person guarding the ship. And he's like, I'll be right back. And he goes down to someone's room. I would assume it was the guy that he was having the conversation with before, where he's like, basically like, hey, he gave me a drink. I'm basically moving up, and his buddy, or however that relationship is, it's like, yeah, you're being an idiot. Like, he'll drink with anybody as long as that means he can drink himself, which is something else that was brought up a couple of times in this episode, as Moriarty, we'll go with, was arguing against the captain, where they're going through these conflicting ideals. Like, hey, we should probably send a small group out as far as exploration or something like that, because nobody knows where we are. We might be getting attacked by this bear, which, of course, by the end is absolute pandemonium because it's obviously not a bear. So, they have these conflicting ideas about how they should proceed with the mission, where it's like, well, I'd rather send out 8 people now on a useless mission than we all have to go out at the end because we don't know where we are, and, there's no one else out there to, kind of help us. So, definitely interesting, that bit of conflict that they were going through, and it explains some of the stuff we got to see between them, where it's like, oh, that's probably a part of the reason he never wanted him to marry his daughter, was the whole drinking problem and stuff like that. So definitely interesting, just little bits and pieces of his character. And as they go through this process, it's like, okay, we're chronicling our journey. They take their picture and stuff, and it's like, all right, well, we're gonna take down this bear, and then we're gonna move on to the next phase of our journey, and go through the ice and all that crap. And it's like, all right, we're gonna take on this bear, and then the first person gets killed, and he's just pulled up into the air. It really is like Aliens. It's funny watching it, and it's just like they're just getting like pulled. It's basically like watching Alien, where they just get pulled up into vents and stuff, and you don't see the creature. It's like, yep, it's playing out exactly like that movie, just with way more people, and it's snow instead of space. And it's just like, the first guy gets pulled up into the air, then his head's like ripped off, and it's like, holy crap, the captain's freaking out. Everybody's trying to shoot whatever this monster is, so he takes off. He's like, help us. And so we don't really see exactly who did and did not survive outside of the doctor, and I think they may or may not have shown like one or two of the other people that actually made it. But of course, the doctor's one of the main characters, so he ends up surviving. But the captain's just about to get over that ridge to see everyone getting off the ship, and then he's grabbed, and it's like, oh crap, and then he's just pulled back, and then it's like this weird, and I love the visuals for it, where it's like him being dizzy and spinning around and stuff, and it's him currently like where he's kind of being dragged over the ice, but then they show him almost in like flashbacks, like he's flashing back to these other moments where we saw some of the issues that he had before he left, which I thought was really cool. And once again, with him dying, that's another explanation for those flashback moments. And it's like, oh, these are some things that he went through, basically proving himself. Like, he was already older, and so he's trying to prove himself, and he's having like random little issues pop up here and there, and he's trying to and that almost explains why he's really kind of gung-ho about like, oh, we don't need to do this or that. Like, that's why he says, what will the men think if we send out a crew? Like, we're lost and stuff already. It was more about his pride versus what the crew would think. And then we have Moriarty, where he's like, I don't care what the men think. Like, we don't need to die. So it was interesting, and it kind of showed he was more concerned with hubris than, well, which they kind of do in the promo as well, or the callback to the first episode, where he's like, this seems like an adventure in hubris, like, because we could all die because we're kind of just like, we're super tough and we know what we're doing, but we don't. We can die out here. And it kind of proved that that's exactly what was going on. And it was like, the me versus them mentality that he had, the main captain. So definitely interesting getting to see some of those points. And like I said, with Hickey, I don't know where the heck that's headed. And him being mad at the one guy and pooping on his bed and stuff. I don't know where that's headed, but it definitely made me laugh. I'm like, what is happening? I felt like I missed something really, really important between those two characters in the first episode, because they're even in the recap where someone comes out and is like, what are you two doing? And it was just them talking. And so it was like, I don't know exactly what I've missed, and I feel like I missed it again in this, because I thought it was just him feeling happy, like, oh, because that was like the whole point of him talking to his buddy, where he was like, he shared a drink with me, and he confided in me like a friend that could lead to something, could lead to everything. And that was kind of the point of that scene. But clearly there was some extra stuff between these two characters. And based on the way they edited, of course, he gets into the bed and then it cuts to the guy he was talking to at the procession. So it was like, okay, I'm assuming that that's his bed he's pooping in. I don't know what the deal is with the glove. I don't know if that was supposed to be like some weird bit of evidence or something like that. Like he was using his hands there, and he still had the glove on, if I remember right, when he was like reading the note or whatever. So that was kind of supposed to be like this weird thing to set him up. But he also pooped in his bed, so I think everyone would know it wasn't actually him that did it. But I don't know. It was just a crazy scene, and I was like, I'm not sure what he expects to gain from this, or if he's just really mad. So I'm curious to see how that's gonna play. I was gonna say excited, but I'm not excited. I'm just curious. Like, what's the purpose of this? What does he think he'll gain from pooping in there? Like, who's going to be the main subject as well? Because there were two people, in the thing. But it always comes down to, well, I don't even remember. Everyone's been up all day, so it's not like he was just in his bed. But I thought that was a funny little scene. I was like, I don't know what he expects to get out of this, but it is what it is. And the way the episode actually ends, after everything's all said and done, we actually go back to the Eskimo woman, and she is in her igloo, and they have, I would assume it's the creature. They make it seem like it's simple, like it's just a bear. But I would assume it's the creature, and it kind of goes near her igloo, and of course, it's the TV thing, so it's like 2 seconds after it goes away, she's like, oh, let me see, because it, not like it could be right there and rip her head off, but she peeks out and stuff, and she's just out wide in out in the open, and she totally could have been killed, but she's an important character, so they aren't killing her off just yet. And she sees like the dead seal on the ground, and that's kind of just where it ends. And it's like, okay, that seemed kind of like they were trying to attach this creature to a more realistic sense of what it could be, because that's what a bear would do. A polar bear would do is kill a seal, and it just made sense. And I was like, okay, that seems like that's kind of what they're trying to do, but it's like it's still this crazy creature. Like, obviously it's something insanely mystical going on, but it still has roots within certain normal tendencies of like normal bears within the area. So I was like, all right, I don't know exactly what clues they're giving us with that little hint of like it can rip people apart in seconds, or it can drag you from this place all the way to the other place, take both your legs in that instant, but it'll also just kind of walk around your camp and leave dead seals around. It's like, all right, don't know what that means, but there's clearly something to that, where it's the mystical side of it, and then just the normal animal instinct side to it. It's like there's two sides to this coin. So probably gonna get some more answers kind of going forward, but definitely looking forward to the next episode now that they've faced off against this crazy attack, and there are multiple people that survived this time compared to when it was night and pretty much everyone lived, but nobody saw anything. I think in this case, it'll be like, all right, this was just insane. I mean, a man was pulled up into the air. That's not what a bear can do. So I feel like they're going to get more into the mystical side as things continue forward. But definitely looking forward to it. Certainly enjoyed this one, like I said. I'm just curious where they're headed with all the storylines. Obviously the mystical stuff, but dude pooped in the bed. So it's like, that's always interesting to see where that's going to go next. But all in all, definitely an entertaining episode. They officially, took out one of the main characters, so now it should be, getting really intense. But of course, we'd love to know what you guys thought about this episode, so please comment below. Let me know your favorite parts about it, least favorite parts about it. And of course, going forward, now that we've had, our first like really grand attack where we see people getting dragged like up into the sky, I would love to know how you guys think things are going to advance from here with the two sides that we got to see, seemingly of the same creature. It legitimately could have just been a polar bear at the end, but I feel like that was meant, like I said, to show here's the crazy mystical side of the people getting attacked from the ship, and then here's like the more normal side of this mystical thing. It is raining like crazy today. I don't know if that's getting picked up or not. It should, because I feel like it's right on this side, even though my window's over there. But I feel like with them showing both sides of it, they're gonna kind of dive into it a little bit more. I don't know if they're gonna do it with the native people, or with this female character, because we still don't see anyone else from her camp, but I feel like that's where they're headed in the next episode. At least that's what I hope. I just want some more answers, but I found out today that this is only going to be 10 episodes, so we got 10 weeks, unless you have like the AMC premium thing. Apparently it's all on there. I would love to do that, but you have to pay extra, so it's like, I'll just wait for the weekly thing. But yeah, it's 10 episodes, so we got got a few more weeks to go, but definitely looking forward to the next episode. Like I said, would love to know your predictions on where they're headed with this creature and what you think it means that they show like the mystical side and the more natural side of it, and just in general. I would love to know what you guys thought about this crazy episode, so please put your comments down in the comment section below, and of course, thanks for watching.